for a little bit. I apologize. Alright. So we're going to be kicking off in just a few moments here, obviously, in this TVT. Let me just get rid of those logos on the bottom as well. Don't need those for today. And yeah, it's going to be this OSC King of the Hill and then Zero Space Invitational a bit later on. In about 3 hours' time, we will, like I say, have to probably leave the King of the Hill part way through for that. That's just the way that today is working, unfortunately. But that's all good as we go TVT style, and it is going to be pretty. It's going in here, by the way. Cool. It's going to be pretty standard starting point. It is also cross spawners, which is obviously very nice. Now the players don't necessarily know that. Bjorn's got command center first. So that's going to be a big benefit to him. As again, say if Q scouts cross spawn first, that would be kind of crazy. He does not. He is instead going to come out to the center, then to the upper right. How do you see the zero space ladder for the Invitational? I believe you can see it in game. Or if you use the bracket command in this channel, you can see the players which have qualified, or who has qualified into which group at least. But I don't know how to show you guys the ladder specifically without it being from within the zero space client. That much I do not know. This SCV will scout Bjorn in a second, but Bjorn's gotten away with the CC first, I think. I think it's too late for Q to really do anything about it. He's expanded himself. Maybe he can bring some units across the map earlier than he would usually, but I think generally speaking he's going to be feeling pretty okay about this right now. As the SCV sees what's up, and yeah, Bjorn, like I say, I don't think he's going to be too upset that Q knows at this stage. It's already pretty late on to see it, so should be kind of fine. Let's see if he makes an escape. Obviously, this is a work-only pathway, so the Reaper can't chase you down there, so that is a one-way path. We escape through, and we do have some pressure from Q now arriving. So the 2 Reapers arrive, but then Bjorn has 2 Reapers of his own. That's what I mean. It's going to be extremely hard to punish him here over the next little bit of time. It's going to be extremely tough. I think it's, in fact, like I say, maybe already just a little bit too late to actually do anything about that. Reapers still gathering up in the center. It'll take a few more moments. Just going to be having the command center coming through, finishing soon from Q, so he's going to be a bit late on that. That's kind of the problem, because he went for the command center, it kind of leaves everything else in a bit of a weird state overall. Let's just have Reaper's going to fully retreat and just going to sit back here for the moment. Not much else going on. Bjorn going to be pretty happy on the other side of the map as well. He's got his units spread across the line. It's a high ground too, so it's very difficult to push into this position without anything else happening. You know, you've got that extra layer of safety essentially from that, so that's a pretty big boon as well. As the Cyclone and the Raven continue to build up for a couple moments. So, and get Ravens on the way, TVT start on the way. You expect TVT to start. Not really anything surprising just yet early on. I mean, obviously, command center first is maybe not normal, but it is something that Bjorn has been doing a fair amount. So if you follow Bjorn, this shouldn't arrive as too much of a surprise. If you haven't been seeing Bjorn games, then yeah, then let this be the introduction to him. Playing a lot of CC first in this TVT matchup. I actually don't like it in a lot of the other scenarios, but I think in this situation it's kind of fine, right? Where he's got high ground held with Reapers and Hellions and so on. Like, this feels fine for me. I think it's nice that it's cross spawns, a bit tougher for Q to push across, so I think this is one of the maps where you can maybe do this more consistently. At first it was maybe working all together, but I do think people were starting to figure it out. But yeah, 4-player map obviously has an impact on that as well, because it affects the scouting sometimes, so it makes us even safer to potentially pull off. Reapers, Hellions, and the Cyclone through the center. Actually going to get a good lock on here for first bit of damage. There's a good amount of Hellions actually from Q, so this shouldn't be too troublesome altogether. Shouldn't be all too bad. Got eyes on things. Going to see those Hellions and the Raven going to come across, gather up. And the second Raven going to be coming up overhead as well. So again, bringing that into position. For these next few moments, Hellions, Ravens both join together. And yeah, we'll see ourselves a couple of barracks and engineering bays on the way through as well. So just bringing all of that online. Do we have... I mean, I think Kyo should have enough to kind of step forward if he wants to, and we'll see him catching this early group of units from Bjorn. That is going to be pretty much everything going down. And Reaper into Hellion's escape. Nice little grenade will try and help to dispel the chase, but the reality is that Kyo just has a whole bunch of stuff, and it is coming heavy and hard, quite frankly, as a lot of stuff, and the Ravens still have good energy too, so can maybe help them to break forward here. Obviously, breaking into the siege tanks is not always going to happen. We shall see if Unit's going to go back over the other side. Hellions will do some shooting, just going to be seeing denial of the third base at least. I think this is going to give Pure a chance to actually take a little bit of a worker lead. Some of these SCVs actually are in the low ground. So greedy from Bjorn, man. I mean, especially when he lost this fight on the other side of the map a while ago, I'm surprised he wasn't more expecting of Cube kind of being, you know, on the map and making it difficult. I guess he had a lot of belief in his tanks, but unfortunately that belief is a little bit misplaced. Actually just going to engage through. I mean, the tanks again do some work, but that's what the Ravens are for. Shutting down at least one of these tanks as Bjorn continues to push back. Marines, Hellion chasing the Cyclone and company being hunted down as well, so we continue to chase as far as we can here. This unit's getting pushed all the way out. And Kyo is going to have to retreat away. So good defense from Bjorn in the end. It got a little scrappy. You know, Kyo had some opportunities, but it was not too crazy. All said and done as these units gather back up together. And we reset ourselves for the moment. See the fight actually breaking out as Bjorn tries to go forward onto the map as well. So just trying to come across there and not seeing too much success just yet. Marines, tanks all continue to come around. We take a few moments. Just going to be seeing those tanks continue to get siege, and this army of Q in the middle is kind of getting beat up on. The tank count of Bjorn is putting in work. Q has to evacuate into the medevacs for a safer getaway. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of a funky stance in the middle of the map because they're both just going to kind of stand here and look at each other. Well, you do something. Well, you do something. And they're going to give each other a little bit of a stare down for a few moments. So, looking super wild still. As we just see Bjorn slowly looking to advance his position that little further. He's going to try and do that with the couple of medevacs that drop around over to the side. So bringing those straight over. Heading right down to the bottom. I'm going to aim for this bottom side base as well. Try and get that on the go. Deflected by the missile turret, and Bjorn is not going to find the opening he was looking for. So does not actually manage to make his way in there just yet. Still has map control, which is nice, but I mean, this is TVT, guys, and TVT that looks like this on cross spawns, it kind of feels like this is already one that's headed towards the later stage of the game, right? It just feels like we're at that point where it's just like, okay, let's just admit where this one's going. We've seen a lot of matches go late game lately, but especially TVTs the last couple of weeks. We've seen a lot of 25, 30-minute plus Terran versus Terran games, so that might be how we start off today with a bit of a banger TVT. We got the Marine tank medevac all gathering up still. Marines is going to step through, just going to see that depot. Going to get cancelled. Obviously, Bjorn is trying to get some vision with that. You're going to bring these medevacs and Marines back away. Upgrades are going to be in favor of Bjorn heavily as well. He's going to be on 2-2 very shortly, which is always going to be a major boon, right? That is absolutely going to be a major positive, so that's going to be a pretty big deal. Big stim in, just going to get a good catch. Bunch of units getting caught there immediately. He's just going to be seeing his medevac and everything going down. Bjorn doesn't even have the 2-2 yet. I said he's going to have an upgrade lead. Well, yeah, not yet, but is he just going to run into this natural expansion? Kyo is across the map with a bunch of his Marines, and that's the issue. The Marines are over here from Kyo, but the tanks were very much so on their own back over on this side. He's now got one tank on the high ground defensively. Bjorn's going to siege it and just try and push in. Honestly, not bad, because this tank siege is also going to siege up a lot of the production and so. So pushing forward here absolutely feels worthwhile. And of course, Bjorn can pull back elsewhere also. He has also cleaned up on the other side of the map. The Marines getting through there. The tanks, apparently the Marines got lured into the tanks a little bit, and Q will just admit defeat. He's running down the ramp into the meat grinder. 25, 30 minutes. No, thank you, he says. And Bjorn just gets it done right here. Again, started it off before the upgrades were even ready to kick in into his favor. And gets there in the end for the GG on that one. Alrighty, guys. Next map coming up in a few. We'll obviously see who the challenger will be for Bjorn. He now extends to a 9-map winning streak in the Terran. In the OSC King of the Hill, the Terran is on a roll from last week into this week. Very, very exciting. Alrighty. Again, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Pleasure to be with you all, casting some games. Had to jinx you all on game. Look, we got a lot of games to get through, you know. It's not the end of the world. It's not like this was the only game we had left. It was this or never, etc., etc. So, there is your good news. Hon Mono is going to be the challenger, it seems. It's going to be a bit more TVT, actually. You were watching the 24/7 channel and the Archon matches were fun. Yeah, the WardiTV Let's Get Our Archon event. That was our Christmas event in 2020, I believe. That was kind of our for fun event. It's so sad, man. Like, we just don't have the funding to really run this stuff anymore. Like, it's... The problem with, like, fun stuff, right, is that fun stuff is always a... Like, you know, fun stuff is always, like, the bonus or the extra or the secondary thing. And in a world of StarCraft 2 where we just need to have every stream be as successful as possible because we need to push prize money, we need to push, you know, funds, we need to, you know, gather up ad revenue, like, oh, we just need these things to keep what we're doing going. But then it's really rough to have, you know, to have to kind of drop the fun stuff. Like, we did some team stuff last year, but that's mostly because someone specifically donated for it. It's really hard to put the usual, like I say, the usual funds into... It's really hard to put the usual funds into the fun stuff, which is sad because the Archon stuff was actually really fun. I think Archon in general is really fun if you know how to watch it. Because the one wish I actually had for Archon is if they I really wish there would have been like just an easier way to see who's controlling what or who has control of what at any moment in time. I actually think that would be really, really great for the format, for the game mode. I mean, that's probably too far gone for it to ever really make a difference at this stage, but yeah, the Archon events are cool. Archon events were cool. Do not disagree. Alright, we're going to get this started in just a few moments. Countdown is on. Get this ready to go. Get this ready to go. Going to Tokamak, my friends. Get this rumbling in a moment. This is in the bottom left-hand side. We are going to have ourselves the Pink Terran Challenger. This is going to be Hon Mono. A couple of Korean Terrans at the start as challengers. Bjorn got through the first. He's our red Terran in the top right with 1 map won on the day. That will be 9 total again, plus 8 from last week. We'll just track on the screen the ones he wins today. It's going to be easy because otherwise we would have run out after if he wins this game. We can't put 10 on the screen anyway, so... Yeah, we'll see how far he can go. I mean, if he wins everything today, he could set a new OSC King of the Hill record, but that's really freaking hard to do, to be fair, so... Just gonna have ourselves the barracks coming down, SCV and the depot coming through for a couple of moments. Carracked on the way over. And yeah, we take a little bit of time to figure out what else is going on early. It's going to be double gas from Honmono. He is typically a more aggressive player. Taking it easy. Barracks coming through. We take a few moments. Just have a factory coming up. There's the expansion from Beyond. Not Command Center first. Again, this is King of the Hill. Oh. And this first Reaper shows up from Honmono here in a couple of moments. Gets turned around for a second, so I'm just going to see that going back the other side. And the Reaper not going to do too much early. Reaper's just going to join up, like I say. I mean, Honmono is the slightly slower expander, so he would typically be the one that wants to try and find some damage here somewhere along the way. We'll see if he can find that at any stage of this or not. Yeah, two Reapers and a couple of Hellions just going to come straight along. Again, try and see what they can do for a couple of moments. Got set up. Get it moving. I get up and toward this natural in the next couple of moments to try and some more work to play. They're going to move in. Fight. Very quickly meet a pretty solid ending. Not going to be able to do too much there as they get jumped on fairly quickly. Go and push this back is going to be absolutely fine for a few moments. Yeah, looking okay. Following a pretty reasonable starting point. Orbital Settlers, just going to see the Cyclone moving over to the left side. So, just going to be seeing that moving along. Again, Raven and the Matrix coming up for a few moments as well. Cyclone just going to patrol a little bit. Screens up here. Beyond's just still looking at home. We are going to see the medevac from Honmono. Let's see if this can find anything. Two Hellions and a few Marines are going to begin to make a move as we head over to the upper right-hand side just to start us off. So bringing that straight into place here. Getting that started at the moment. Gonna unload those few Marines. And just holding out in that bottom right side for a moment or so at the very least. Get this settled. With this force, can he justify an attack in? I mean, Beyond defensively already has a tank and two Cyclones. I'm going to say probably not. Honmono is building a couple more Vikings. He is on a third CZ, so he does have that third command center kind of on the go and building, you know, higher right now, so that part seems very reasonable too. Again, engineering base, Raven, Marine, the stim, all of that coming up. Just going to see a few units heading back down the bottom on mono here as well. So got those two Vikings, the orbital about to finish, the siege tank and the SCVs continue to build in. So both players just setting up, both the economies are looking extremely similar to one another right now as well, so that part continues to look very comfortable. See how mono is in general though going to start backing it up and pulling back the other way, so it's not looking to commit for much right now. Those few Marines down the bottom side, this orbital command will come over and land. Units moving into the center. Vikings overhead. This is a bit of a bigger push from Mono. He's got 5 tanks included in it. He's not got the Ravens, but he does have the Vikings to try and zone the Ravens. So that Raven interaction is going to be very important. Do these Ravens get their, spell casts off as Björn, or does he lose them before they're successful? I mean, you lose those Ravens too early, and this is going to be an absolute disaster, right? So it's going to have to be something right from the very beginning that we have to be, like I say, super, super careful of. Just like I say, things can definitely go wrong very quickly if you're not cautious of it. The couple of medevacs will keep moving through, and Björn actually going to be the one to now try and put some pressure onto the map as the next part of this. So he will try and make this happen. Away we go. Be able to get into the main base. There's 2 Vikings, but they're not going to kill this before it's unloaded. We are going to see the Marines going to get a full unload here. Now, the Vikings can land, but we might lose some Vikings in the process. A little bit messy from Björn. He's going to get 10 SCVs. I just say messy because it felt like he wasn't really targeting anything in particular. Oh, he's just going to matrix these tanks, and that is very bad for you here. He's going to auto turret as well to help speed up this process because he knows he may not have the damage to get rid of these tanks super quickly. He's not focusing the tanks, which I find kind of strange, although I guess he gets most of the ones in the back, and he will finish the ones in the front with tanks of his own. We'll have to unsiege, as the Cyclone, though, locked onto a Raven, is not going to help against the siege tanks there, and it looks as though Björn is going to maintain this position with minus 31 SCVs on the kill counter. That is also going to be a big deal long term. It's going to be a big problem continuing through from this point. So the tanks finish off that refinery, clean that up, and on we continue. The Vikings going to come back over. Vikings just going to pull around. This medevac going to be here. The few tanks like to gather up as well. Just going to get themselves sieged for a couple of moments. Vikings pulling back through. Yeah, 2 upgrades, the concussive shells, plus 1 vehicle weapons. All of this is on its way at this current point in time. So bringing a lot of this up. The Vikings going to go back around over to the left side now. A little bit of power just going to stim in. I'm not going to say GG. He's got Liberated sieging up on top of his base and all sorts. This is not a pretty position. Not in the slightest. GG. GG. Alrighty, guys. Björn. 2 on the day. 10 in a row. He is looking good. As we get ready for another map here very soon. Obviously, we got another player listed. They will be the challenger. It's going to be Nicorakt. Oh my god, this is the TVT affair to start the day off. So Nicorakt up next. We're going to jump onto NA for that one and get this TVT ready to go, guys. I'm just going to sneak another round of ads on Twitch just because TVT especially obviously has that tendency to go on a little bit. So we'll just throw that down to make sure, just in case we get a very long game, we're clear of it. Let's see if it ends up being a bit shorter. We will be able to skip through a little instead. Dun, 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 dun. Like I say, Bjorn will, the way the maps work, guys, is Bjorn gets one veto as the king, and then the challenger gets to pick from all of the rest of the maps, which includes some other maps that aren't typically in the ladder pool, because this is the OSC, and we have the OSC extended map pool. So Tokamak, for example, is one of those maps. Beckett Industries, and the other one right now are Tokamak, Beckett Industries, and Submarine, yes. Actually, very Terran maps that are in the extended map pool this season. Yeah, crazy business. I am Mentos. Thank you so much for the 53-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Are there games today? I mean, we are already casting games, so yes. You would expect there to be more games still. Yeah, I appreciate you all tuning in. Hello, everybody. As yeah, we've got 2.5 hours more of StarCraft 2, and then in 2.5 hours' time, we will be switching over to the the Zero Space event. Sorry, got distracted by something for a sec. All right. Top left hand side, correct, is going to be the challenger then. He takes on Bjorn, the red Terran, in the bottom right hand corner. As we get up and ready to rumble, ready to roll for this next game. Get this started, get this ready, and see just what is going to happen. We work our way through a third map of the day. Even more TVT for us. Yeah, sorry guys, I just got a message just as I was mid-sentence, and my brain, instead of finishing the sentence, is like, I'm going to process this message first and finish talking later. Crazy. Crazy. Bjorn bottom right, Nico up left. I guess I was going here then. It's going to be pretty slow for the first couple of moments. Nothing too wild for a couple seconds. Just get this all working, running, all the rest of it. Get this on the way. Second gas finishes up. Barracks going to be done already. Orbital's going to morph on both sides. Bring that up as well. Just to start us off. I was just seeing that Reaper building from both players, so going to be mirrored at the moment. We've even pulled out the same amount of gas, so just a Reaper factory expansion build going to be the initial chase. Sorry, I missed the Reaper fight in the center. Ugh! Nicorag wins the Reaper fight. Was a hit from death, but that's typically how Reaper fights go. One player just gets the bad RNG on the timing of it, and things get reset around as you see the Reaper stepping over. I'm gonna go see what's up. We got ourselves a Hellion or two on the way from both players as well. So getting those Hellions building right now. Command center's coming online. Getting the reactor building too as a couple of Reapers will join up in the center. We're going to swap over to the Tech Lab Reaper. Gonna die, but we get the Reaper in return at least. So Bjorn at least making some return fire there. On his way to the Cyclone. High ground CC from Bjorn, and that's right after losing the Reaper especially. Has a bit less map control. So Nicorag feeling more confident in building the CC on location. So that will save him a few seconds of floating. That's a little bit of an advantage on an SCV or so. It's a mild advantage, but it is an advantage. And when you add up a lot of mild advantages over the course of the early game, it is typically going to come out to be meaningful at the end of it all. So pretty respectable here right now as Marine, Tank, Medevac continues to produce through. SCV still coming up. The command center has been added on as well. This rack is going to drop down a reactor, and the starport also just being built here for a moment. This cyclone going to pop from the factory. Starport going to take a little switch over to the tech lab as well. Neil drops in. Very friendly Hellion going to take the watchtower. And the medevac tanking a few marines will be on a slow journey down to the bottom right-hand side. Medevac has the tank, Medevac has the marines, the cyclone's going to lock on, the units back it up for a second. Hellion takes some damage, now seeing this marine going to have to micro away. Good micro from Nikorak so far. The challenger, he does have the central server here, so he does have the server advantage for some of that micro to look a little smoother. Cyclone's just come about, just going to see the other units moving around for a couple seconds as well. Banshee already going to get rid of a marine. The Banshee actually very nice. You get rid of the anti-air here, and this Banshee can just kind of fight through everything else, which means this tank has to be sacrificed. Good defense from Beyond. The Banshee actually being a big unit. It does come at the cost of having a slower Raven. Nikorak has already got one Raven out, second Raven now building. So that's kind of a big deal. The Raven timing from Beyond is going to be that much slower in comparison. So, it's definitely pretty noteworthy. As those units escape back up to the upper left, a few SCVs are going to pull in, looking to get on that medevac. Tank will siege. A couple Cyclones, the tank, and the rest will set up. The Banshee coming over as well, heading over the far left-hand side for the moment. Let's see if the Banshee can get a few more SCVs. That would be pretty neat if we were able to. The SCVs would not go amiss. Let's see the second gas coming up. Banshee over that far left-hand side. The Marine hits the watchtower. Vikings, the tank coming by, the extra barracks coming up. I'm just going to have that Marine slow moving around on that right side. Ravens, Marines, and tanks down this direction, looking to push through. Now you're seeing the Cyclone locking on. Marine is going to get caught already. Two Vikings going to move across, couple more Vikings popping. Everything gathering over on that right side. SCVs went down from the Banshee already. Going to get one more, two more. This is a very successful Banshee. Part of the defense early into the aggression for a few workers here and there as well. Obviously very nicely done altogether. Very, very nicely done as this army still from Nikorak moves over to the right side. Bjorn has a couple Cyclones, Marines, and the tank coming over there as well. Cyclone locks. Raven going to get pushed back. Our tanks will unsiege. The Cyclone's going to take a little bit of damage already. 1-1 upgrades coming through. Combat shield is building from Nikorak. Is that late? No, it's not. It's Beyond that actually needs to start his own combat shield. It's in the production. He wants this Raven. If you can get it, obviously, from Beyond, that would be amazing. He does come in for the flank. Matrixes go down. Hachi hits the Matrixes on the Ravens while they have energy left. He's going to get all of the tanks. At least the Ravens get away. It's a slightly good sign. And the Cyclone Marines and the tanks continue to chase that. Cyclone locks. The Viking falls. Yep. Will indeed go down. We're just going to see the Cyclone going down the other direction as well. And our army back into the right side. Have another few units gathering up as well. So we're going to see that Cyclone locks for one more Marine. Yeah, these player colors aren't great, especially on this map, guys. I think is part of the problem as well. The lighting on this map doesn't help to accent them at all. Especially like the purple. Like they both meld into the background quite a lot, I think, as well as kind of a problem. It's still crazy to me that we had the same music in StarCraft for 15 years and now we just have different stuff that plays while we cast. Insane. As these Marines, this drop is just brutal. Minus 14 workers immediately. I was gonna say, how much does Beyond lose? I mean, he loses 10 Marines, but he gets out with a medevac worth of Marines still. Only pulling back over to the left-hand side, just because, you know, the scan coming down. And 2 Vikings shooting, and the medevacs continue to get chased for a little while. Two coming about, plus 1 vehicle weapons on the armory. A couple of units gather around. And again, Marines coming up, tank and the medevac in production, armory, barracks, all producing on in. Where's this Marine tank force going? We're going to pull back because the drop comes back. That's why the drop staying alive is so nice. You get some SCVs and you pull Nikarak away. Movement is so important in TVT. You know, positioning is so important. So if you can move your opponent's army around, you can dictate the positions. And this is about to be a stim onto this third base that Nikarak is not set up for. Well, in fairness, Nikarak is going to get that, like... Beyond actually just stopped moving is the bigger issue here more than anything with what I was about to say. Medevac's going to heal a few Marines. It's going to get pushed back. The Medevac's going to be there as well. Load up once more, and Bjorn going to take a turn back around the bottom side. Going down, Depot going to get denied. Cyclone's looking for a second plant. Before it's going to need to be repaired. That's actually going to be a nice counter from Nikarak. At the same time, Bjorn did keep these 3 medevacs loaded up, and they unload into the main base, and that's the production of Nikarak going down heavily. Bjorn believes he's got the Marines to fight here, despite the anti-arm missile, which he wasn't wrong about until he started going into tank range. He has 2 tanks himself to play defense in the main. I say defense because obviously it's Nikarak that's likely going to have to start pushing into him, so he wants to try and defend this position and to kind of keep on picking away at these production structures. The barracks keep on burning. On the other side, these tanks going to unload. That 1 tank on the high ground from Bjorn is going to get blasted in the end, so that is going to get picked off. Marines are going to gather back through. A few more SCVs going down. And these Marines continue to put some work in. A tank getting picked off already. These guns just all over the place. He's going to go for the orbital. SCVs are not going to get there in time, so the third base goes down. Nikarak's now going to lose the Ravens, medevacs. All sorts of stuff is just flying into its death as Bjorn, also on 2-2 to the 1-1, is going to make it very effective for him on the Marine trades. GG. At turn 2 goes to Bjorn, and he wins his 3rd map in a row today. Now an 11-map winning streak across the course of the King of the Hill last week and this week. Map streak, hell yeah. He's doing well. Again, all-time record is 20-something. He's on the OSC Hall of Fame. Let me find it. The longest time record is 22 by Bjorn. He's halfway to his own record. 11 more, and he can tie it. I don't know when that was that Bjorn said that, but that's pretty cool. Waiting for our next challenger, guys. We'll figure out who is coming up next and who is going to challenge Bjorn as he tries to extend this position. Any big hitters for today? I have no idea. The beauty of King of the Hill is I just show up and cast the games. I have no idea who's coming up next or who's playing and stuff. It's great. It's great. I just sit back and cast whoever shows up next. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome in. If you just joined us, it's OSC King of the Hill for the next couple hours. Like I say, we do have zero space today, so I have to leave probably before King of the Hill is done, unless we get some very quick games, which should not be great. We would like things to take a bit longer instead. Boom, 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 boom. Waiting for the challenger, guys. What's my experience with Zero Space so far? Played or watched much? Yeah, I haven't actually really been able to play. Just been busy lately. I've left. I feel like my want to play a game is not super high nowadays. I don't spend a lot of time like on my computer. I play a lot of games like on my laptop upstairs, like, you know, in bed. But like to actually like sit down for like an RTS, I don't find a lot of time in the day. So I've actually watched a bunch of Zero Space. I've watched a bunch of Zero Space, but I haven't played it. However, watching it is super fun. I think it's super enjoyable to watch. Yeah, I really had a blast last time casting it. How was my experience with Stormgate? Well, I never really got into Stormgate at all when I played it or when I watched it, to be honest, so... But yeah, I think Zero Space is super fun to watch. And like I say, like, I will get around to playing some at some point. I'm just not in a phase right now of like sitting down and playing stuff on my PC, so it's on my list. I will have to play some if we end up casting a bunch. How many hours is 6 p.m. CST from now? 2. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Bracket. There you go. Any particular faction I like to look off to main? No. Because I'm not gonna... I mean, I haven't thought about it enough. I think because I haven't thought about what I'm gonna main yet, I don't really know. I think they all look cool, though. I'd have to play around a bit. I think before I chose to main something. Yeah, if I was to main something, before I main it, I would actually play some of every single class first. Unlike what I did in StarCraft 2, where I freaking played just Terran. And then, to be fair, I tried to play Pros and Zerg, and I really just thought it was stupid, so... I just really thought it was dumb, so I just stopped. Ay. It's not updated yet? Oh, on the Wikipedia? Oh, sorry guys. There's no like official bracket. Like the Wikipedia is the best you're gonna get, so if it's not updated then I can't do much, unfortunately. Alright, jump into Beyond versus Trigger, guys. Trigger's going to be the challenger, we just found out. Scan in the lobby. Dive into At Eternity's Edge. Let's get ready to go. Beyond on a 3-map win streak, but maybe, just maybe, this player in the bottom side will be able to put a stop to this. This is Trigger, our red Protoss player, taking on in the top left-hand side, the blue Terran player, Beyond. Alrighty, some TVP then as we get this up and ready to go. Get this all started. Get this on the way. I've got the cyber core down, all the command coming through. It'll take a few moments and get ready. What's it like for me to watch so much DVT? Do I enjoy the mirror matchup? Yeah, it's okay. I like DVT, just sometimes I feel like the game's obviously very long. I think I like TVTs that are active, and sometimes you have long TVTs that are very active, and sometimes you have TVTs that are long because no one can find the opening, and so it's just you sit there. Like TVT's a very polarizing matchup now. Just because of that. And I think you can feel that when it's on the screen a lot of the time, so I'd say that's kind of where I feel like it's at. Alright, Reaper is going to get onto the map here. So now Reaper building that factory coming in. Beyond DVT is more entertaining. Well, yeah, because sometimes he just plays like Mass Marine and just runs into people, which is Pretty good deal, I would say, generally speaking. Oh, that's the 2 Reapers of Bjorn. Looking to try and get around. Interesting, he made 2 Reapers. It's not really a necessity. We got a second probe. Just going to be seeing 3, 4 workers going down. It's going to be a pretty decent starting point. Just going to be seeing the couple probes already dropping. And 6 workers killed. That's a very good start from Bjorn. 2 Reapers on the Hellion for 6 workers. A little bit of lost mine time at the tail end of it as well. Crazy business. Medevac Marines still coming through. Bunker and the Tech Lab is going to come down on the factories. Just going to get that along for a moment or so. Blink and the Warp Gate coming about. Rebel Facility and the Gateway producing. Bunker coming up on the Natural. Tech Lab on the factory. And this Starport is going to pop a Medevac and go on a little bit of a journey. This Adepta is going to continue to run by. Is that's just going to go down looking for info, I guess, more than anything, but doesn't really get much of it right now. It's my preferred matchup. I mean, TVZ is usually the best matchup, but I also don't love TVZ at the moment. Like, TVZ is fun, but I think right now TVZ is very... It feels much more one-dimensional than it used to be, and I think the style of TVZ still makes it fun in a way, but I'm sick of going into a TVZ and kind of knowing we're probably going to see like a 20 to 30-minute game, because there's just no realistic... Because if the Terran starts losing, they just build command centers and turtle. And the Terran doesn't have any reason to push the Zerg to a point where they start winning, because it's just better to build command centers and turtle. Like, I don't know, I'm a little bit jaded with the TVZ meta right now. Not that it's not even like it's bad to watch. I just feel like it's predictable. I think. So, when is the Zero Space Tournament starting? Zero Space Tournament starts in 2 hours, guys. Appreciate you all having the passion. What's up, Lambo? Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome everybody from the Lambo stream. I'm just yapping on. We'll cast some King of the Hill. Bjorn is on an 11-map winning streak. 3 of those maps today, 8 from last time. Currently playing Trigger, and he's had a good start. He's killed a bunch of workers. So Trigger is pretty weak on the opening right now as he tries to come across the map and put some pressure on with these Stalkers. Now, there is going to be the Widow Mine looking to come back in from gun, trying to be an annoyance here. The Stalkers blink in, immediately met by a tank, but they will cancel Stim. That Stim is at least not too far along. There's a couple more Stalkers will walk in once again. Tank shot firing. A couple Stalkers still going down. Releasing the Marines, the Marauder probably going to come back through. The barracks is going to relocate. And that Prism loads back up, back to the top side once again. What else can you do as the Terran? Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Like, I mean, I literally just said even when you're winning as the Terran, it's better just to stop and to start turtling from a lead. I don't disagree. Like, that's why it's bad. You know, that's because it feels like the only option for the... It's not that it's the only option, it's just clearly the best option, right? I think is fair to say. It's just by far the best option. Bjorn's defense here is pretty good overall. Obviously delayed on the Stim quite a bit because he's still not got that going again. Starts it now, but outside of that, I feel like Bjorn's put himself in a pretty good spot here. Killed 6 Stalkers in this game. Obviously the 13 probes early was pretty big. He's actually just getting the auto turret across the map now for 2 or 3 more workers as well, so that's going to be a bit more damage on top of everything else. And Raven escapes up to the top side. The few Stalkers are just going to gather the Prism nearby. And you have the other couple Stalkers going to gather around as well. Charge still coming up about halfway done. +1 attack building on the Forge. And a few more Zealots warping is Trigger gets ready to keep the pressure up here. And see if Bjorn can keep this going. The Observer just sat in a good position to see the positioning of Bjorn's defense. Well, that's really changed from the last time that Trigger has poken around. Bjorn does have the Raven hunting about for some opportunity as well here in the near future. Stimpack, Combat Shield, and the +1 all building through. So Raven drop one more auto turret down. The pylon already taking some shots. One probe has fallen. We're just going to be seeing this pylon continue to take more hits as well. Missile turret shoots down the Observer. Rubber Bay starts just on the side of Trigger. Again, extra gates, the probe and the attack upgrade coming through. Stimpack and Combat Shield building now. Marauder Marine Mine in production as well. It's just bringing a lot of this up and rolling. The Orbital Command still coming through. This Bio takes a second. Did he just kill his own mine? Not sure what happened there. There's a Bio Army going to be moving down. The Zealot's a good counter. I mean, to be fair, Bjorn... Okay, he actually has quite a bit at home. This medevac of units will do a lot of work. He salvaged the bunker, but it looked like there was a dead Widow Mine, no? I felt like he attacked his own Widow Mine, because I also heard him attacking. Unless maybe I'm just imagining things. It looked like maybe the bunker just looked like a Widow Mine and I'm just making things up in my head. It wouldn't be the first time. The Zealot counterattack kills 10 SCVs, which is mostly just because Bjorn pulls the SCVs instead of just letting the Bio deal with it. He is going to cancel the 4th base. And as he continues to press on through, what splash damage do we have? Nothing yet. First Colossus on its way. I mean, we need the Colossus, but I don't know how this Colossus is ever going to get in reach of these tanks. They're building an air weapon upgrade as well, as Bjorn is going to pull back. You need to break this right now, Colossus. Oh, tank should go straight onto the Colossus, because the Colossus surely is the scariest thing here. No, he's target firing Storks with the tanks instead. I find it kind of surprising that you don't target fire the Colossus down. I guess maybe you're just aware of it being an easy pickup for the Prism. And don't be wrong, I don't think one Colossus changes that fight too much, but I feel like if you kill a Colossus now, your future fights, your future units have a much better time continuing to push across the map if the Protoss is still building Colossus #1 in the production tab, right? Second starport, I'm going to respect the Colossus count growing and get a Viking count growing of his own. Just having the Ghost Academy about to finish. Marine Marauder Viking all coming up. The Zealots on the left-hand side going to get moving as well. Those units moving back over to the right. Raven is going to be there. Just see those units gathering up. Maybe think about pushing onto this 3rd base in the near future. Or the turret drops in to push the Stalker back also. And you do just wander into the defense. Army just gets to the center. We'll see the rocks going down. Bioforce going to get after a couple of Stalkers already. And we hold the Watchtower momentarily. Zealot Sentry can move about. Just going to take that Zealot to the Watchtower again. The MP here onto the Zealot would be massive. Doesn't find it. That's Bio still coming across, chasing those Zealots down. Just kind of over to the side. Another round of Zealots will just warp in. Colossus +2 attack. The armor upgrade building as well. This Bioforce gonna rejoin on the center. Bjorn is gonna look to keep pushing, but I don't think he has the Viking count to send it right now. 3 Colossus already up. Realistically, when there's 3 Colossus, you want to start not one-shotting the Colossus, but you want to start like 2-shotting the Colossus with the Vikings, right? Because if you're not doing that, the splash damage is going to be a bit too much. Now, that's a really good anti-armor missile, do not get me wrong. But you're fighting into a battery, you're fighting into the defense. And like I said, to me, you don't have enough Vikings for this, although there's not a lot of Stalkers. We're getting a lot of shots off with the Vikings, so we've gotten a lot of these Colossus low. Their shields are gone. Going to stop to hit the rocks for a second, which I think was just a misclick. He is going to bring reinforcements across. I mean, this is still not bad for Bjorn. Knocking the shields off the Colossus, some HP down. It's going to be softened up for later. Fire Army will take a few moments to heal up on that Watchtower. A couple of Zealots are going to step over. The Colossus are going to be here. We start to step up into this. Bio Ghost will turn around. Stalkers have to blink away. The Zealot is denied. is our next part of the plan here? Alright, well, Bio still holds out on the watchtower. We have the Ghost set up there, the Colossus gathering back over. Just going to re-engage in. Just going to see the Zealot's going to lead the charge. The Bio is going to be stimmed. The Zealots are taking a ton of damage. The Vikings continue to put some work out as well as we go back and forth. But Trigger is chasing. Trigger believes in his position right now. I don't know. I feel like the Colossus is so low. He gets hit by an EMP. Now the Colossus are going to go down really fast as the Bio overwhelms the ground force, and the Colossus are all that's left, and they are going to get punished for this move out here. At least the Zealots on the ground are kind of holding a little bit strong, but the overall supply of Trigger is going to tell you the tale. That is Bjorn in a very good spot, and Trigger not so much anymore. 30 supply down. And you have a couple command centers still building up from Bjorn. A couple Vikings, the Marine Marauder on the way. That's funny, because I actually feel like Stork showing up here, one of the best things that could have showed up. They nearly got a Ghost. They probably should have had a Ghost. Probably could have killed it before they blinked back. We're going to cancel on a couple of CCs, maybe. Overall, the Plantry is going to keep you safe. It's not enough Zealots to really make this too scary otherwise. Bjorn is splitting the defense just in case Trigger continues to kind of multi-prong, believing that the multi-prong is what he has to do at the moment. If we want to have a chance of this. Bio, Viking, Medivacs coming down into the center. That watchtower going to be taken very soon. Stalkers going to force a cancel on the command center as well. CC still being shot at. Probably has to cancel in a few moments, so it's going to be another CC down. The Bio Ghost Viking Force is still pushing up. Just going to be seeing this Bio Force stemming in. Catches the Colossus immediately, by the way. So Colossus goes down. The Zealots charge through. The Vikings are going to land, absorb a couple of the Zealots that are warping in, which is not terrible, because at least if you're absorbing the Zealots, the Bio is getting to stay kind of busy on the Stalkers. You don't have another Colossus in production, so losing these Vikings are not super terrible in that regard. Bjorn needs to spend his cash. He's floating, 1,300 minerals, 1,000 gas. Get that money spent, his reinforcement waves will be stronger, and he'll close this game out a lot more comfortably. Now a Colossus shows up. Now you're like, oh, I don't have any Vikings anymore. We have an EMP, and we will hit everything with it. Resetting the shields, Colossus just not protected enough. The Zealot wave was a little too far away to actually protect. And we do see, I like this, target fighting some Stalkers while the Zealots are still there, just getting value, getting kills. Stalkers are not cheap to replace, and especially if you're going to have to, replace Stalkers in this scenario, it's going to get very expensive very quickly, so. Bjorn pulls back, and this is just that moment where you start to explode in the game, right? Where all of a sudden you've got a couple more CCs here and there. And you just start expanding. You have bases for days. A few Stalkers are going to step up once again. Bio will chase once more. Stalkers will get pushed back just for a moment. Just gonna have the Bio Ghost Force. We'll continue to gather about. The Stalkers coming through. The center going to be there. CC goes down. Bio going to show up. Just going to jump onto these Zealots. And they're going to start fighting. Just going to see our Stalkers and the Colossus. Going to get jumped on again. These armies of Trigger are just not being meaningful enough right now. Not at all. No, Stalkers coming through. That's going to be seeing the Colossus continue to go down. The Stalkers continue to get picked away at. And that is probably going to be enough. I mean, we see the Destructor Shot going to land short. We see another round of Zealots. Another Disruptor Shot as we try and again stay steady in this situation. The Vikings going back over. A couple more Zealots start to go down. Just going to see that rope facility is going to fall as well. A couple of snipes get after those Zealots also. Snipes will be taking shots. Trigger just going to slowly lose his bases. I mean, he has to keep on trying to fight here, find opportunities where maybe, just maybe, he can actually get the, you know, disruptors to change this game. But realistically, this one is too far gone. And we are going to have ourselves a victory for Bjorn. Fourth of the day. It goes Bjorn's way. And this streak will continue. So Bjorn still feeling good. We'll see who the next challenger will be for Bjorn and see if it's someone that is going to put him to the test. I mean, he's definitely not had easy games. Obviously, versus Kua just now was a... on the first game was pretty tough, and then just versus Trigger was rough. I mean, Nikarek's not bad, but he is getting through with the wins on the board. So Bjorn is getting the job done at the end of it all. This was a bad start from Trigger as well. Don't forget, this was a start where Trigger lost 6+ workers to a couple of Reapers and a Hellion. Very low commitment for Bjorn. No bracket for OSC. Yeah, guys, I can't really do much about it unless I edit the Wikipedia myself, which it's just a little bit too much to do with having to keep swapping servers and jump into games and actually cast and stuff, and I'm observing as well today. Yeah, there's no official bracket as well. The Wikipedia is pretty much all we have, so to track it usually. So unfortunately, it's just not quite ideal. So apologies. Obviously, it is just King of the Hill, so in terms of players who are coming up, we don't actually know. It is different. Just you know, we find out basically as you guys the game gets hosted. It is going to be Mini Zerg up next, so it's going to be some TVZ. Bjorn going to get tested in a matchup he's not played yet today. Boom, boom, boom. Just waiting for Bjorn to hop on over, guys, and we'll get this ready to resume. Again, thank you for joining us. Bjorn 4-0 on the day so far. And again, hope you're all having a good time. Let's get ready to resume. Fear Dragon 64, 127 months research. Which player playing today do you think would make the best Pokemon card game player? That is... I mean, that's a tough question, isn't it? I don't even know. Like, all of the RTS skills are just... have so much crossover in TCG. You okay, Fear Dragon? This feels like a much more serious question than your usual troll subscriptions. Boom, 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 boom. Let me pick a dumber one. Who would be the most likely to push someone into the pool at a pool party? Are the players playing a day? I mean, I don't know who else is playing a day. Maybe just Bjorn. Bjorn's like, you about to shake his hand, you just shake someone's hand for the intro of the match, instead he's just like, oh, there's a swimming pool. I can imagine it. How do you come up with a dumb question so quickly? It's actually kind of impressive. Actually kind of impressive. Who's the most likely target? There's another round. Yes, we have 11 more maps of King of the Hill. Just beyond his AFK, I think. He's just logged over to NA. Alright, so they'll be beyond Mini Zerg in just a few moments. And thanks for joining us. If you're watching on the YouTube, do not forget to like and subscribe. Helps us out a whole bunch. We are only 49,976 subs away from 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Now, guys, I don't know if you know, but once the first 100,000 YouTube subscriptions are up, they're gone forever. So if you want to be in the first 100K, now is the time to sub. Got him. Guys thought I wasn't gonna crack out the sellout on the YouTube still. Got you guys good. Got you guys good. Bum, bum, bum. Been a little slow to get going today, haven't we, at times? Bum, 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 bum. Just a little slow moving today, guys. Apologies. All right. Lobby is up. I'm gonna get this going in a second, guys, and it'll be Submarine as the map. And big from beyond Submarine makes sense. It's small. Kind of works well for him. Is it weird for you if you only watch Terra matches? I don't think that's crazy at all. I think a lot of people mostly watch matches of the race that they play or whatever their favorite race is. That's why mirror matchups struggle, because there's an inherent amount of people who just tune out whenever it's not their race, and obviously then you lose twice as many people because it's a mirror matchup than you would usually. So I don't think that's crazy in the slightest, honestly. Don't think that's crazy in the slightest. Bottom right, our red Terran player is going to be Bjorn. He's on a 4-map winning streak today, taking on Mini Zerg in the top left corner of the map. Getting some ZVT on the way then, guys, for ZVT of the day. Couple of dronies coming up. Get this ready to go. This started for the moment. Overlord pops. I'm going to be on a bit of a journey then for a few moments as well. Just going to bring that through. You've played maybe 20 hours of SCT, but you've watched hundreds of hours. That's not weird either. That's also very common. That is also very common. StarCraft is a good game to watch, guys. It's a hard game to play, but it's a very fun game to watch. There ain't nothing crazy about that. I also much prefer watching the game than playing it. Overlord coming around, just gonna be seeing the other Overlord coming about for a few moments. We're just gonna step out towards the upper left for a few moments as well, move that along. And we will see Beyond starting to apply some pressure as he expands to the low ground. Small enough map that maybe Minizerg could consider some roach stuff. Moves around, a couple wings will chase. Yeah, not a bad starting point at all. One Zerg going down, we're going to get at least get two. Third, easily going to go down as well. As Minizerg just lets these lings chase this Reaper a bit haphazardly, and the Reaper has an escape path to the bottom, so it's going to be out absolutely no problem at all. Orbital coming up, factory on the way. Still sits at the front, and we are going to actually see the drone slipping by. The Reaper is going to get to build the hatchery, so mistake from Björn, because especially after you kill the lings, again, this third hatch down is meant to be a little bit tougher than that, so he's now going to go into the main. Again, no lings will force a spore, but it's late, so the drone goes down. Drones together, we are going to be seeing this Reaper. It looks as though it's just going to commit to death unless it can actually make a getaway here. I'm not going to lie, getting away would be pretty darn cool. Third hatch coming into position. We are going to have now a couple of Hellions starting to show up. They're going to catch a drone between bases. It's going to be an easy pick-off to start us off. Nothing else. Hellions still going to be there, just going to push the lings back the other way. This cloaking is on the way for the Banshees as well, so we see exactly where we're taking this. We see exactly where we want this to go and what we want this to look like. Just going to see this few lings trying to come back over. The Hellions in position straight away, dealing with this very well. Again, doing a good job of this for the moment, as those Hellions still try and find a way to poke further forwards and to poke on in. Not quite going to find success off of that just yet, though. Wow, lings, queens continue to produce through. We continue to settle this on down. So good on Hellions. It's the Banshee that gets a couple of kills on the left-hand side, so it's going to be good for at least a little bit of damage. Is going to be cloaked, and the spores just aren't ready yet. It feels like everything's just a little bit off in this game for Minizerg. A few times over, he's being caught and just not quite prepped for what is coming, essentially, and has left him in a pretty difficult place. -7 drones on top of the start, which was already not exactly ideal. Really isn't going to put you in a good place. This Banshee just going to sit between the bases and just try and be as annoying as possible for a little bit longer. Hit this Queen a few more times. Queen's still taking some shots. More damage being done. but this Banshee just sits here, man. Just killing drones is brutal. Another Banshee shows up on the third. There's a Spore there. Just the fact this Banshee sat between the bases, and don't get me wrong, it's not going to kill a Bane Nest or anything, right? But like, even killing the extra drones just between the base for that long is pretty crazy, as this game is very fast running away from our Zerg player. It is not looking good in the slightest here for Mini Zerg, to say the least. LA and Carapace upgrades still coming through. 18 additional Zerglings going to build. A couple of barracks coming over. We do have the Hellion. Other Marines coming up as well here. Continue to get this on the go. We still gather the Hellion going to be there. Fourth hatch coming through. We're going to finish that Overlord off. Take that down. Hatch on the top. Maybe this attempted fourth. Beyond's going to start pushing, and it's going to be tough to defend this. 1-1 upgrades aren't done. To be fair, Beyond doesn't have combat shield yet, but no 1-1 for the Zerg, no Bane speed for the Zerg. Gun chase for a couple more Lings. Surrender is not even that skilled. Well, you got a high ground tank and a bunch of Marines already. I think we're fine here. I guess at least upgrades will be done at similar-ish timing. It's still going to be Beyond ahead for a few moments, and he's going to have combat shield also. He can create a fight in the next 10 seconds. That'd be incredible. And honestly, even fighting before Bane speed still feels very good for Beyond at the moment, to be honest. Overlord goes down, creep being cleaned up. Single Bane trying to waddle forward to get rid of another creep team over here as well. To the back, a couple of drones already going down, -4 workers. In the bottom left, these Marines going to continue through toward that hatchery as well. Medevac is going to get pushed away, but I mean, even just, again, trying to keep a denial on this fourth as best as possible. Even if we're not killing the fourth base off, the drone's trying to mine here going down to another -7 workers. This hatchery, it's going to die, not get cancelled. Mini Zerg is just getting a little bit beaten up in this entire game, honestly. This has been kind of brutal, to be honest. Start to finish, it has been pure brutal. Pure brutal. Pure brutality, I should say, maybe. Plus a lift up. A couple moments. Hydroden still coming through. The rest of these Marines still pushing up. Tank will siege. A couple more creep teamers getting picked off at the moment in the center. Gun is up 40 army supply. Kills this base again. Not even a cancel still. Marines is going to get back onto the Queens. The Queen's going to try and step back a little bit. We're going to get a couple kills. Off creeps they can't transfuse. Top side, we're going to run in for drones. I mean, like I say, Mini Zerg just continues to be bullied throughout the start and early stage of this. Tank going to be protected by some Marines as well, so there's going to be a cleanup. This tank should not go down. These Marines should have it unless we miss micro or so. And we're just going to threaten it. This position's always very fun as well. the drop space here. On the OG version of this map, you used to be able to put a tank right here. And people thought it was a bit too OP, so it had to be changed. And this was a ladder map for a long time in the end. GG's. Done. He's going to go 5 wins in a row today. Make it 13 in total. 9 to go to tie his all-time record. It's probably a bit too soon to be talking about it, really, but got to keep the excitement up. We'll run some ads, get ready for our next map. Whatever that may look like. In a few moments. Get that ready to go. Alright, we'll see who the next challenger is. Shameless just came online, so maybe some Shameless action. Maybe. finding out soon, hopefully. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba, da, bum, 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 ba, da, bum, bum. Is Shameless up next, guys? So Shameless can then play the PVT. You guys, I definitely get my blood boiling over all the Twitch comments. That's what keeps me going. I wake up and I feel dead inside, then I stream and I read Twitch chat. I feel alive again, you know? It's the real reason for every day. On the left-hand side, our Blue Protoss player is going to be Shameless, looking to end this streak of Bjorn, who is just continuing to cash in right now. Bjorn is the red Terran player in the top right corner of the map. Bjorn's been shredding players in this series so far, but I mean, Shameless is good. I actually think Bjorn's TVP has been very good lately. He actually struggled a bit against Classic, which is funny because I feel like Classic's maybe been one of the weaker players on this patch, but then I think Classic, once he gets into the later stage, can do very well for himself. Okay, Marine Horde coming through, the probe continuing by. Typical Nexus both going to come in and get that set up. CC coming through, just gonna have the reactor and the depot coming about as well. I need a new channel point record timeout. Here's your choice for 10 minutes. Let's see if Seamus can come up with something cool. Right now, just heading into the Twilight Council. Beyond with the triple CC is going to get big economy going early in this game. It's a very early third. So ideally, you can put some pressure on and do some damage to this as Shameless, but we'll see what he does. Obviously, he's not able to really get too much info early. You can see it's an expand, but getting back in to see this third is nigh on impossible, hence why he has no unit on the map just yet. He'll start poking with the first adept or two, and you'll try and pick up some information from there, but shall see. Bunker gathering, just gonna see the stalk gonna go back and forth. Again, that blink on the way through the barracks coming up as well. Engineering bay in the background. So we got that on the way also here. Yeah, that's Stimpack starting up. Rubber facility, about halfway through. Again, the blink is about halfway along as well. Factory, engineering bays, everything is very standard. This is obviously just big bio after the triple CC, so there'll be a lot of bio. It's very low on the tech unit count, which maybe does open the door for some stalker pressure, but we're only on 2 gates. I don't think Shameless is going to find too much of an opportunity with those stalkers. I think he's going to fall a little bit short of the mark, in fact, in that regard. So, unfortunately, he's probably not going to be able to do too much there. Man's just going to step forward. That adept goes down immediately. Nice catch. As the stores come over against Impact Combat Shield will come in up. That Robo Bay is still continuing through. We do have the Stalkers going to find the Marine, then the Marine will find the Stalkers, so Marine falls, but you know where the Stalkers are at. Beyond is already spread defensively. Until Stim is done, it's a little scary to fight the Stalkers. It shouldn't be impossible, especially with the bunker up, and like I say, there not being that many Stalkers here overall. If this was 4 gates of Stalkers, you might have some more issues, because then the warp-ins behind it would be very dangerous as well. Wow, that's rough. Just scans the Observer. We have the Robo, but we've not built a Prism, right? So we don't have anything else that's arriving for high ground vision, so getting the Observer quickly like that gives you this safety net, because now you know it's only going to be an attack on the front door, and if it's an attack on the front door, you can be well positioned for that. I mean, you got to respect the possibility something else shows up, I guess, but taking away one of the options early is generally going to be seen as a pretty good start to give you a bit of a more comfortable place. And Bio moves up. Combat Shield, Concussive Shells, and the +1 upgrade still coming in. Marine Marauder Medevac coming online. The Medevacs will begin to boost out down to the bottom left side at the moment. And push the Stalkers back as well, but these Medevacs on the map, let's see what we can do. Unload for a couple of seconds. So the Bio on the Send actually going to be taking some free shots as it's just attacking rocks, and the Stalkers are putting some work in during that time frame. Keep knocking those rocks down. Bio to the left side, going to find a pylon as well. Sheamus got supply block for a moment or two. This Bio army going to finish these rocks in the middle. Observer here. Taken down. So it's going to find that excellent Thumblelands and the charge coming up. Temple Archives, Gateways, Zealots producing through. Temple Archives especially being the choice of tech. Very interesting. Bjorn. We have 2 Colossus already, but to go Temple Archives this soon, just we don't see it a lot right now, right? The Temple Archives this quickly. We see a lot of players playing the Colossus count a bit higher into the Disruptors. Like I say, the Temple Archives side has been a little bit less utilized as of late. As the Bio gathers, Medivacs join up there. The Stalkers step down toward the third base. I'm just going to morph, just going to see the Zealot. I'm in about again. There's Bio Army gathering up. We take a moment. Carbon Shield is online. We are just going to be seeing these Colossus laser beaming forward. Bio Army. I'm going to try and spread and deal with this. That's Colossus on the bottom side just shows up from a bad angle. So Shameless loses that very quickly. We are going to see the Zealot starting to put in work though, and Shameless is going to maintain position at the front. There's actually a good amount of Vikings. I don't love these. Colossus are kind of bleeding. So they're going to die pretty quick and take 2 volleys still, but they will go down. And then what tech do we really have remaining? The Archon and just Zealot Stalker. Is Zealot Stalker going to be enough? It's also an upgrade lead right now from Beyond with the +1 attack. Soon to be 1-1 in total. Didn't do enough from Shameless, especially considering he's playing no upgrades. You kind of need this to do a lot, and it's going to get a few more SCVs at the end here. These SCVs could really have just left by now. The extra 10 SCVs at the end of this just didn't need to go down because that one Archon was just feasting. It would have never killed the siege tank that was nearby, so... The siege tank? Whatever it was that Archon was going after other than the SCVs, I think we just didn't need to, like I say, pull the SCVs through for as long as we did. Vikings will get this Observer. So that goes down. The Zealot Stalker Sentry pulling back down the bottom. A few probes transfer over into the 6 o'clock. We got Zealot walked in, Stalker, a couple more Zealots, and the Sentry coming through as well. This army all gathered. Now we're going to see the Bio stepping over, going to knock a pylon down. So in the middle, going to see one Zealot out to the left-hand side. The rest of these units gathering up. A few more Zealots get warping in at the moment here from Shameless. The Stalkers join as well. For a bit of a position in the middle of the map. To the bottom side, there's Marine. Going to be good to help zone this probe away. Positioning once again. Pushing down, just going to see the Stalkers blinking back. And Bio gets there, push that away. The Zealots, the Sentry, and the Immortal still pulling back around. This Bioforce going to come to the bottom. The Ghosts available to drop some EMPs in, and again, Beyond feeling good enough to at least push into position of this. Let's see how well we can do. Next is taking some shots. The Zealots start moving forward. It's going to see the Zealots on the other side, though. Shaman's going to get a wrap around on this army, and a great force field to help him out. Delays the retreat of Bjorn. Bjorn's like, uh-oh, maybe I can get these Vikings into play, and he can get them into place. The Stalker count is not super crazy. I don't think we're going to get more than the one, or we shouldn't get more than one. Bjorn losing that big time. Shameless just finished up his 1-1 upgrades as Bjorn's going to finish 2-2 soon. These Vikings never actually found the next Colossus. That's just going to get out to the side. That's annoying because we're going to have to rebuild the Viking count from the ground upwards. And there's still the Colossus to deal with, so the Vikings just made a bad choice. I don't hate that he turned in. When he killed the first, that was fine, but he needed to just do full retreat at that point, perhaps. Because he kind of went for the second, then it just wasn't going to be enough, so he just needed to identify that a little bit sooner. And so let's gather. Scan comes into place. And see the rest of these Zealots gathering up here. Just going to see the Stalker pushing up the SCV, building a missile turret. Take some damage as well. Bioforce Ghost still gathering. Vikings and Medivacs joined together also. The Stalkers will push through. A couple of these SCVs begin to go down. Bio will just be there. And again, the Stalkers have to turn away already at the moment. Gun will remax. Shameless on the forefront of aggression here, though. He is the one attacking in. Bjorn pulls back a little bit. He's got some zealots arriving from the right side. He pulled back into what would be in position to defend. In fact, he still will. It's a much better fight from Bjorn as Shameless's army just melts away. I mean, he just had the Viking count, the Bioforce, the Zealot run by did nothing. The numbers were all there for Bjorn. It was everything it needed to be. As the Bio chases, the Zealots get hunted. And Shameless does not have a ton of money to rebuild with, and especially he doesn't necessarily have the time to rebuild. Also, he was fighting that down upgrades, not just 1-1, but down 2-1 upgrades, so Bjorn just had so much firepower in comparison. The Vikings stopped the pros from escaping as they're not mineral walking. We just warped in a sentry as though a force field might change things here, but I just don't think that's going to be enough. Why didn't the Zealots tank damage? Upgrade difference. Just down in upgrades as a Protoss is a very brutal place to be if you're going to play gateway heavy. Like, if you don't have upgrades, you need to have like tech to stand up and show. But then, in this case, we didn't have the tech to show because the Colossus got shot down so quickly. This is GG, well played, and good luck as Bjorn takes map 6 on the day and keeps the streak going. Almost as many wins today as he had the last time out in the OSC King of the Hill, which allowed him to be king at the start of the day as well. So Bjorn is just continuing to roll on through and looking great across the competition thus far. Yeah, those upgrades were brutal. Shameless committed to kind of like a no upgrade, like attack early, which is where the problem came from. He didn't do enough with that. So while the game kind of evened out in other numbers, those upgrades were always a deficit. They were always something that was kind of trailing behind. So yeah, definitely a bit of a factor. As we get ready for another map, we'll see who is next. Is Bjorn still on NA? He is, so it probably is going to be NA for us as well. We'll just wait a few moments and get given the official word, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I know who's coming up next. I will let you guys know who is also coming up next. Yeah, Bjorn is very solid at the moment. Not much is for sure. What's up, alive? Hello, hello. Just waiting for our next challenger to take to the stage. Cool. Cool. Like I said, guys, there's a little bit of time waiting for the next challenger to come in. Again, Bjorn will get one veto, and the challenger will get a map pick. Nice collection behind me. Thank you. It's, I need to reorganize this room a bit. I was going to do that at the start of this year, and I just never did. I think as part of the WardiTV 10-year anniversary celebrations, we're going to do like a full, I say room tour. I don't know if it's going to be a room tour as much as it's just going to be like talking about all the things and stuff. I guess it is kind of a room tour. We have some cool things. some cool stuff to show off and so on. People have been asking for this video for years. It'd be cool to show some of it. Talks about some memories and so on. Yeah, next month, man. WardiTV. Gonna be freaking 10 years old. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just crazy? I think it's just crazy, personally. Personally speaking. Ten years of strict SC2, that's a lot of SC2. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just 10 years of WardiTV, never mind just SC2. Crazy. Crazy. Last year was my 10 years of being full-time. This year's 10 years since we rebranded to WardiTV, which is obviously a big deal. I think the craziest part is, like, it means, like, you know, like, the OG WardiTV logo is, like, that thing's, like, 10 years old. Like, someone made that 10 years ago, you know? That's kind of baffling when you stop to think about it. Crazy business. Actually crazy business. Waiting on news of who the challenger might be, guys. Do. Let's just come back from being AFK. I don't see anyone else online right now, so I don't know what the deal is, but Fiona is putting a lobby up, so I presume we have someone who's not on my friends list. Elstra. I do not know who this is. Terran player who had their first ever match recorded on a Ligulac yesterday. Wow. LSTR 0-2 against Bjorn yesterday. And didn't really have any other results to really speak of. Interesting that they played their first official match ever yesterday. That's wild. Alright, let's jump in. A new OSC Elite Club member making their King of the Hill debut. Alrighty then. Best part, guys, is we're back to TVT. Now, we are going to have a pretty hefty favorite here, I think, in the top right-hand side. The Red Terran Bjorn, to me, is going to be a big favorite. But part of the fun of this is getting to see new challenges. In the bottom left, our blue Terran is going to be LSTR. Not sure how we should say the name. Luster, LSTR, maybe we just say it out letter by letter. Let's see what our challenger will have. Go on, Elster. Nice. That makes more sense than Laster, actually. Elster makes a lot more sense. Alright, Elster against Bjorn for this TVT. Like I say, I'm going to pick Bjorn as a favorite, but let's see if our challenger can pull off a bit of an upset. Would be fun. My first ever time playing King of the Hill, I just dropped my phone on my keyboard. That's a classic. I was looking on the Ligulac, and then I just dropped it straight on the keyboard. That's a good one. Good move. Not recommended. I fortunately didn't hit anything important, at least. That's a positive, nothing else. Gonna drop a mule in. Just gonna be having ourselves the Reapers on both sides, so we're gonna be playing mirrored at the moment, double gas apiece. No one gonna fast expand as this Reaper steps out and starts going down to the bottom left-hand side to see what's going on. What's up, Jeff? Thank you so much for the 68-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Thank you so very much. Will I be attending BlizzCon? No. There's nothing at BlizzCon for StarCraft fans, so... And there ain't nothing for Blizzard to bring me to BlizzCon for either, so... Yeah. At least I presume there's not. Man, wouldn't it be crazy if they announced StarCraft 3 and just, like, they didn't invite any StarCraft people? Yeah, it would have given too much away. Yeah, that's some real hopium. Reapers coming over to the left-hand side. Was the most surprising upset I've seen on a best-of-1 challenge in this tourney? Ooh. I'm not sure. There have been some... Nothing comes to my mind. The problem is remembering, like, little best-of-1. The problem is like, best-of-1 upsets can absolutely happen, so, like, even if there's, like, a crazy one, like, I don't know if it's something that sticks in my mind, right? Because it's, like, it was just a best-of-1 at the end of the day. It's not like it's like some crazy, it's like, do you remember that time when someone beat Sterile in a best of 7? It's like, what? No way. Like, it doesn't have the same kind of like attachment to it, you know? Couple Reapers try to get in, they get denied. Marines, the Cyclone coming about, the units on the top side coming up, that starboard about to finish from Bjorn as well, and get that completed. Siege tank will be finishing soon again, a couple of Reapers and Cyclones still coming up together, Raven and a couple more Marines on the way out. And yeah, tank and a couple of Marines building from Bjorn as well. It'd be surprising to see a low master beat someone like Bjorn. I mean, yeah, but I think the thing is, right, is that if something like that happened, it's probably because of some silly cheese or like some crazy, like, oh wow, Bjorn just didn't scout and the guy... So it's still not necessarily that kind of memorable sort of level of game. Because upsets to that level just don't happen in StarCraft 2, the longer and deeper and the more skill-based of the game it is, aka the longer game, right? So, yeah. Not sure. There was there was some wild upsets a couple weeks ago, but like, I mean, you're talking like super crazy upsets. It's, tough to say. There must be some though, all time. There must be some. Like, I'm pretty sure I could play 100 maps against Bjorn and would never win a single one, right? And he could probably meme on me in the process, you know? Like, it's just so... like, StarCraft 2, the skill expression in StarCraft 2 is just crazy. Like, the ability to just... like, the lack of randomness in the game in that regard is just... yeah, it's... it's just absolutely nuts, plain and simple. It's kind of the coolest part about StarCraft, like... you are always carried by your own skill level, you know? Wouldn't mind. Gets a little connection. Reaper falls. Reaper and the Cyclone gathering up. I'm just going to see our siege tank coming through. A couple more barracks in the orbital command on the way. Just going to have our Stimpack and 1-1 upgrades building from Bjorn at the moment. A couple of Marines and the siege tank coming up. SCVs and the orbital will continue to build. Reactor currently halfway done at the moment. Lane and Reaper both starting to go out onto the map. 3 Ravens here. Alistair's build has been pretty solid. Has been very together with their timings and so. Triple CC3 racks pushing on the map confidently. I like it, showing a pretty good level of play here initially. And nice catch from Bjorn on the other side. Cyclone gets rid of a siege tank. I'm still going to get the matrixes off. Bjorn did unsiege one tank in the back and try and throw down the turrets. He needs to get his own tank sieged, I think, though. I think way too long to siege the tanks. SCVs have to pull from Bjorn, but he gets another matrix. And that's going to be the defense. I actually didn't hate the attack, especially because he got the matrixes off, but like I say, he needed to get his own tank siege sooner because they were just sitting in the back, and single damage output tanks against that amount of Marines just ain't pretty. Unfortunately, now these Ravens get caught as well. We'll scan and we will get every single one. And Bjorn will take a significant advantage off of that and be looking for his 7th map win of the day. That was honestly not a bad showing from Alistair. I mean, you gotta think again, like, you know, you're playing against someone like Bjorn. He held his own super early and he put himself in a position to push across the map. And to be the guy initiating against Bjorn, I think is pretty impressive. Like I say, his build was tight, it was smooth. He kept up in SCVs. He did a lot of things right. He did a lot of the basics well. Just in the end, the attack was not the correct attack, right? And just didn't do enough. It just got a bit messy. I think the Ravens took a long time to put their auto turrets down. And maybe if those auto turrets go down more smoothly, the rest of the fight goes a bit better then as well. But yeah, a pretty good showing. Not bad at all. But Bjorn was always going to be the favorite in this one, so that's how it goes. We'll see who the next challenger will be then for Bjorn. Cristiano just came online. So maybe Cristiano is the next challenger here to try and knock Bjorn down. He's now 1-7 on the day. Is the RSL Finals the biggest event remaining this year? I don't know. How much prize money is the RSL Offline Finals? I mean, it'll be the biggest offline thing, because we don't have anything else offline, I don't think. What was the Offline Finals prize pool last year? $10,000? I'm going to say it's probably not going to be the biggest event remaining of the year, but it will probably be the most noteworthy because it's offline. Yeah, they're doing the offline finals in London, which is kind of random, but crazy. I read this and I was like, what? I was like, it's just so random. Exclamation mark A doesn't work anymore, Farah. I was on the old bot. I lost all the commands on the old bot, sadly. It died and all the commands died with it. I had to write everything from scratch, Saj. I mean, I know that the A command is not really a hard one to rewrite, but WardiBot's not even a mod anymore. Not even a sub anymore, man. WardiBot's not even sub to the channel. Crazy. Crazy. This is announced the RSL offline files are going to be in London. Am I going to be there? No, I don't know. I don't imagine I will be. I don't have much to do with RSL, obviously, so yeah, I can't imagine they need me there for anything. Trader. I can't believe, yeah, I was really sad when the bot died. It just stopped working one day. I was like, you know when you're just comfortable with something? It's like, I used this bot for legitimately, like, I think legitimately, like, 10 years. And then one day it just stopped working. I was like, I have to use a new bot? Ah. Pain and suffering. It was almost a friend, I know. Yeah, everyone's old watch times and stuff were on that bot. I can still check people's old watch times, but obviously it doesn't carry over and stuff, so... I mean, as a fan, no, I'm not going to travel to London for a StarCraft event. It's, London's a very expensive place. It's not somewhere I can just pop over to or something. Yeah, I wouldn't even consider going as a fan. The only reason I would go is if I got asked to work or something, but yeah, it's just not cheap. Bottom right side, our red pro display is going to be Cristiano. As in the top left, our blue Terran is going to be a Beyond. I also say this without being... This is not to be negative, and it's not to discourage people from going to events, but I've been to a lot of StarCraft 2 events, and there is very... There's very little to do at StarCraft 2 events than sit back and watch StarCraft, and... This is going to sound crazy to you guys, but I've sat down and watched a lot of StarCraft in my life already, you know? Like, I don't really have much to gain from sitting down and watching a bunch of StarCraft and paying for the privilege. It's like, I could make a trip to London for the weekend, and... Or I could, like, fund, like, over half a month's worth of weekly cups, probably. Like, it's just not cheap. It's just not cheap. It's not worth it, unfortunately. Not worth it when I've had that experience many times before. And probably will still have that experience many times again, because we don't have a lot of events offline anymore. I don't think this is... I still think we will have some offline events in the future, so... Fiona's up 7-0. Yes, he's won 7 best of 1s in this King of the Hill so far. go on Cyril, come online, fight Bjorn. I don't think Cyril's an OSC elite member, so I don't think he's allowed to sign up. Yeah, I don't think he's allowed to sign up. You can only sign up if you're an OSC elite member already. No offline events. Well, I mean, the RSL finals will be offline this year. Then that's about it for this year. And then next year there's Homestory Cup right now, but we don't know what else. But there's obviously a lot less than there was, but I really don't think there will be none ever again. I still think there will be some here and there, so... Obviously it's not like when we used to have a DreamHack at this month and a DreamHack that month and something here and something there. BlizzCon, I don't really see BlizzCon as an offline tournament, guys. Like, let's be fair. Let's just be realistic. BlizzCon is a set of show matches. It's like the couple of classic show matches and then the Sterile Rogue final. As much as I love a lot what RSL does, I think having the RSL final at BlizzCon is one of the craziest things. The $700 money match literally costs 4 times that or something to fly both the players out there. Like it's just crazy. I've always talked about it. Again, this is not meant as a criticism or anything, but I've always talked about like I think, you know, especially as StarCraft 2 gets smaller, it's good to be responsible with how you spend, money that you have. I don't think having a best of 7 that you've got to fly 2 players across the world for that pays the difference of $700 is a responsible way of handling cash in a dying scene, So yeah. They want to go big on YouTube. I mean, a ZVZ best of 7 isn't going to make or break your YouTube channel, though. You might get very good viewership, especially if Blizzard help to push it and you get Twitch front page and stuff. I mean, they always have Twitch front page for the finals of RSL, like the mega front page as well. That's why they get like 6-7K viewers. It's just front page traffic, right? Like, but I just don't see how. I don't know. You have a very hard time convincing me that this is a worthwhile endeavor. Don't get me wrong, it's cool. I'm not trying to say it's not cool. You'll just have a very hard time convincing me it's worthwhile when you look at the state of the StarCraft 2 scene and think what you could have done instead. For the cost of doing this one best of 7 offline, you could probably have run a massive tournament for everyone to get involved in that would have been genuinely very exciting for a lot of people. And like I said, there is some value to having offline, but like I think having one match offline, that still comes with a lot of costs. I mean, maybe Blizzard just covered all the costs for it, in which case, like, sure. Like, then it's free for you to do as RSL, then it probably makes sense. But then I look at Blizzard and I'm like, hey, can you do something else for StarCraft, Hello? That's all. Four Stalkers warping in. Christiana ready to get aggressive, looking to break the streak here of Bjorn. There's a Stalker step forward. Going to get ready for a blink onto the siege tank. Oh, doesn't have enough for one-shotting. That's actually very painful because that's a bunch of Stalkers that will go down there initially. See this bunker taking a few more shots. A couple more Stalkers warping in. SCVs are going to pull. Repair that bunker up. A few of the Marines going down. The Cyclone as well. One more Stalker getting warped in at this point. -4 probes across the map, by the way. There's some harass hits. The Raven has been auto-turreting, so Bjorn defending decently and putting some damage himself into place. The Stimpack is going to get targeted. We are going to see the Prism is locked onto, but we actually get out of reach of the Cyclone, so we save the Prism. Stimpack denied. Christiana going to continue to warp into this main base. Now, a second tank sieges in the main. That's very powerful, especially as Christiana is hard committing to the main right now. Of course, if he goes to the low ground, we're going to have to bring a tank down here again. We actually already have one down here. So the fact that we've not continued to kill tanks is a pretty big deal. Tanks. I'm going to keep shooting. I mean, yeah, a couple tanks in range, and that's just going to be painful. I was going to say, let's make sure we pull these Stalkers out at least. Cyclone actually reaches for one more on the low ground. As the Prism gets into the back of this main base, a few Stalkers will hit a couple of those SCVs. Just have the Marines going to push into the background there. Cyclone going to try and lock on. I was going to say, I don't think we have quite the reach we need to make that happen. Zero Space Invitational later. Yes, in 45 minutes. And yeah, guys, I mean, if it's Blizzard that I'm spending the money, like, then I think that's the one thing that makes sense. But, like, even still, I mean, sure, that it makes sense, right? But, like, even still, like, if they want to splash that money, they could do so much in terms of just actually running, like, a tournament. Like, I'm not going to get into it. It's just, it's hopes and dreams. And people see different values in different things. I'm obviously biased because I see it as like a, hey, let's try and keep StarCraft 2 alive. You know, let's keep StarCraft 2 as healthy as possible. And from my point of view, one offline best of 7 doesn't do that. Whoever is paying for it, right? You know? That, like I say, and that doesn't make it not cool. That doesn't make it not exciting for people. But in a world where you need to keep players playing as your #1 priority, maybe we should work on a way to pay those players. And again, that's not saying that towards RSL, because I know people are going to be like, see, RSL price, whatever. No. That's more towards, like, if Blizzard are paying for it, like, we could maybe do a lot of good keeping people playing StarCraft by spending this money on, like, a bigger event or something, you know? I don't know. Like I say, there's a lot of reasons behind the scenes and stuff. It's just hard not to be skeptical about it from the outside looking in, I suppose. We don't know what the actual workings are of it, so it's probably not worth talking about. Christiana has a supply lead. Let's see, the store is getting pushed back. There's a lot of zealots from Christiana. My only concern is supply lead, but a lot of it is lower tech units. I mean, very swarmy with the zealot count. He has not got any upgrades, though. And Bjorn, I love this. This wall off here is so good, because if he can pull back behind this wall and choke himself up, that's going to help himself out massively. Step over the side, a couple of mortals, sentry gathering up, zealots on the bottom side as well. Gonna get a scan, observer gets picked off, a couple of stalkers gonna poke onto the orbital. Just gonna pull back. Zealots actually do get a flank. I mean, this is one of the better positions for Christiana to jump on because Bjorn doesn't have as much kind of blockage. Minus 16 SCVs, but the army was starting to shred. Like I say, the upgrade versus no upgrades is a pretty big deal. Christiana warps in another massive round of zealots. The force fields were necessary. He had to find a way to back away from this and not lose too much in the process. Bjorn also needs to actually get this base repaired so it doesn't just get targeted down. We bring a couple tanks further forward on defense. I mean, the tanks don't do great against the zealots, but they do very well against the stalkers, and so I'm just going to see a pick off in the center, and in the end, Christiana is backing away. During this map control, he's established himself a 5th base. So he puts that 5th base down. He puts a 6th base down to the bottom side as well. Few more units warping into the middle of the map. So let's warp in and get ready to shove. Well, tank shots going off. The Zealots going to charge. It's going to stem back. A lot of Zealots going down. The Vikings will push those Colossus back the other way. Problem was they never managed to monetize it effectively. I mean, that's not true. StarCraft 2 was monetized amazing. They sold millions and millions of copies of expansions. It's just that monetization method became outdated. And, you know, people higher up said, yo, we gotta do more. It's like, we only made tens of millions of dollars making this game. We gotta do more. So we're not gonna make more StarCraft expansions because it's just not good enough. Now, that's not being monetized effectively. That is just big company being greedy. Bit different. Chasing this Bioforce, chasing down Vikings. Gonna get after the Colossus, get after the Prism. It's gonna be a good shutdown. A lot of those Colossus going down at the moment. Bioarm just continues to chase Zealots, Immortals, all dropping. The Colossus continues to fall. This is a good fight from Bjorn. Disruptor at least hits pretty decently. We've lost pretty much all of the tech though otherwise, which is not great. Fire comes back over. A couple Stalkers turn back the other way. AOT's had a resurgence after being a near dead game for ages. Is it because I mean, AoE 2... I mean, I saw a tweet from Loco that I think sums it up, or something which is like, he's been playing AoE 2 for like 3 weeks because he was doing that tournament thing. And in those 3 weeks, they patched the game more than StarCraft 2 gets patched, you know, in a year. I mean, that just summarizes it straight up, no? Like, having people actively work on the game genuinely helps the game be, you know, pulled interest and stuff, so... Yeah. Who's else gonna get in after those SCVs, by the way? It's gonna see minus 13 SCVs, 14 SCVs or so. A couple more Zealots getting back out through the top side. Bio Force just pulling back. The Vikings are going to sit there. It's going to see the Bio still getting through. A couple of the Zealots getting caught. The army continues to work around the bottom. It's going to be seen the Vikings will be there. Shot fires again. Stalkers blowing. A few of those Stalkers getting shot at. Zealots going to try and charge forward. We are going to be seeing this army from Christian still trying to make this work. Beyond on the left-hand side is catching a few of the Zealot reinforcements while pushing this back comfortably. 2 Disruptors still have their shots available, but I fear that they're not going to get a chance to actually fire. And as we try and run, I always like to say, retreating Protoss is one of the worst kinds of Protoss, because you lose so much on the retreat as the Terran gets to chase you. Now, he does kill a bunch of SCVs, especially on that left-hand side, even kills off a command center that's on its way. So Christiana continues to put some hurt on the Beyond economy. The question is can Christiana at some point in this game actually stop Bjorn's army? Because right now, Bjorn's army just grows and grows and grows, and the more that it grows, the more problematic this is, because he needs to kill it at some point. And it's not just growing. Bjorn's army is super well teched up, whereas Christiana's army is still very teched down. He's going to replace a couple of Colossus right now, which is something. But even those 2 Colossus may not be enough with what's already on the map of Bjorn. The Zealots on the other side going down this time. We do see Bjorn losing more SCVs, but he's obviously killed probes in the base himself. Denying gateways by killing the pylons here. Good choke point to be in, but that also gives the Disruptor a shot. And as we get away from the choke, we are going to see the Zealots showing up. Bjorn's supply is dropping, and Christiana is looking to break the streak. 15 wins for Bjorn across last week and this week, and it looks as though it may come to a close here, because Christiana has cleaned up the army and done enough damage across the map to get the job done. We have the Bio dropping back in. Bjorn will try what he can to keep himself in this. I asked if Christiana could deal with the army. I mean, he did by whittling it down on the other side. To be fair, he took down a lot of army over here efficiently, just with the Zealots being kind of beefy to get through. Stalkers get after a couple of these medevacs on the right side. Bio going to look to unload elsewhere. Through for a few more workers. Again, Zardstorm Colossus pushing forward. This Bio is still pulling back, and Bjorn is just going to say GG. Christiana denies the streak from growing any further. 15 wins. And that is going to be that. GG's. That's so funny, by the way, because Bjorn was a map away from being on 16 map wins. And at 16 plus map wins, you get like a higher bonus. You get like a bigger boost for like killing him as Christiana, so you actually missed that opportunity by a map. As Bjorn cashes in those 7 map wins on the day, he takes home $52 a day. Obviously he had 8 before, and now Christiana breaks that streak down, and Christiana will sit as the new king. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the sad part of StarCraft is that realistically StarCraft, if they just made another StarCraft expansion or StarCraft 3, this would be a successful game. The problem is, it wouldn't be a successful game that can dethrone mobile microtransactions, and it wouldn't be a successful game to the extent of, like, killing, like, beating COD or something. Like, it's just not successful enough for the people that make the decisions, which is really sad, because it would be successful. There's no way something with the IP level of StarCraft isn't seen as successful, right? People would lap it up. People would pay for it, you know? But yeah, I mean, we can talk all day about why things are the way they are and what was done right and wrong and stuff, but it just sucks that that StarCraft 2 is in the state that it's in, if nothing else, to be honest. Because yeah, SC2 at the very least deserves to be treated a bit better at the end of its life here. You know? Just a teeny bit. Just a teeny bit better. Yeah. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 ba da ba da bum ba da bum ba da bum bum bum. StarCraft 3 being the most hated game in history? No, it wouldn't. There are so many people that would just love to play a new StarCraft campaign. Like in Twitch chat, and competitively, sure, because you'll have not just Brood War vs SC2, but Brood War vs SC2 vs SC3. It'd be heavily simplified. Well, now you're making presumptions of what it would be like, though. If they just made StarCraft 3 and just made a good RTS, which is still possible, you know, it's not impossible, just make a good RTS and look at what works and not just do all these things, you know, then it'd be successful. You don't have to presume it's just going to be shit, you know. Just thinking Blizzard's okay with making another RTS. I mean, like, maybe, but, like, at the same time, like, people can also, like, look at what made one RTS good and then try and copy parts of it, you know? Like, we have no idea. Like, if they made another RTS, they might hire people to, like, start working on it, right? Like, they might hire really good people. Like, these things are just also presumptuous, you know? But that's just not gonna happen, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe in like 10 years, they'll be like, huh, we need money. StarCraft 3. At least they're doing something with the StarCraft franchise. Like, at least they're doing a StarCraft game, even if it's not an RTS. It'd be cool just to see StarCraft mentioned again, you know, as like a thing. Be decent. Is the King of the Hill ended? Nope. I'm just waiting. It's been a bit slow between games today, a bit slower than usual. But we are just waiting. Yeah, we do only have half an hour left with StarCraft Go though, guys. We're obviously not going to get a chance to finish the King of the Hill today because there's still 7 maps to go. But we have the Zero Space tournament in 30 minutes. We have a Zero Space tournament in 30 minutes, so we'll be swapping over to that. Just to let you guys know. Setting up the YouTube to change to the Zero Space stream when we wrap up with StarCraft. Cool. Depending on how long this next map is, we might only do this next map and then wrap it up. I might take like I'd probably take like 10 to 15 minutes between events if we can. So if this next map is like 15-ish minutes long, we'll probably just wrap up. Percival next. Cool. Percival, Christiana. It's a good match coming up. All the Terrans today. All the Terrans today, huh? It's Terran kind of day. I'm guessing the StarCraft show will be announced after the RSL finals. That's not how BlizzCon works, though. At BlizzCon, they do all of their announcements in their big opening thing. You know? At the end of the day, like, whatever, I mean, at the end of the day, like, realistically, it's a drop in the bucket. Like, it's not a lot of money to spend to make it happen. It's just not the right use of money if you want to actually help StarCraft. But, like, that's not what they're looking to do. They're not looking to help StarCraft. They're just looking to do whatever. So it doesn't matter, you know? This is why the whole conversation is more so, like, me just being, like, from the outside looking in, it's kind of sad that we don't get the support that StarCraft needs to continue to see, I'd say, success, just anything really, I guess. So yeah. Game number 1 for Percival today. He's our red Terran in the bottom left-hand corner. And top right, our blue Protoss is going to be Christiana. Alright, Galaprobi's mining away, and do have ourselves the proxy from Christiana to put some pressure on early in this game. Christiana got a win against Bjorn to break that big streak. He was on a 15-map win streak. Christiana breaks it down and now takes control. Heading into his second game. We'll see if he can take down another Korean Terran. Orb comes back up. Again, just going to see the gateway, the barracks, both building. We're just going to have our Reaper going to start from Percival again. He does not have info on the fact that Christiana is proxying, so this is not a good sign for Percival. Not knowing that this Zealot is going to hit quickly and so on is going to put you in a bit of a tough spot. He is double gas at least, so he's not looking to expand super quickly, which is a boon for sure. And probably part of the reason why he doesn't scout is because he's going double gas. So it is going to give you that faster factory. There's going to be a faster defense toward the Stalkers and so this is probably actually going to be alright overall, more than likely. Reaper comes over, just going to chase the probe for a moment. Kills that off. We do have a full wall already as well because again you're not expanding, so you just have the minerals to throw that down. So full wall already coming down. Now the Reaper actually scouts and does find the 2 Zealots, so now you have a little bit of pre-warning. I guess you get a bunker up. Stalker will be here soon to start shooting across the wall at that building bunker though. As the 2 Zealots will chase in. Reaper is going to be continue to hunt the Stalker. I'm going to hit onto the Reaper as well. Both those Zealots trying to get up this ramp. And it goes down. Just going to be seeing the SCVs continue to repair it up. Stalker hitting the Reaper. Bunker does not come up just yet. We'll have to pull one more SCV in, but that's still minus an SCV. The Woodermine is going to be a guaranteed defense. Christiana starts up his expansion. The problem is his expansion is as late as his opponent's. He doesn't really get anything from this. Like, these other units do not really feel great continuing on. You now have a Reaper coming your way that's going to harass into you as well, so that's probably not going to be fun either. Stalker just going to come, just going to have that Reaper being chased a little bit. A moment or two. And again, the Warp Gate coming about. Next is the Gateway and the Twilight Council coming online as well. We're going to have this Reaper still moving about, trying to see where else it can go for the next few moments. Stalker's going to get the grab. The blink coming up. Just going to have the rope facility coming through as well. The Warp Gate is still out on the map, so we can make use of that. Is he going to just instantly play for this as a Warp Gate? Like, that generally is not a good thing. It's interesting because in this scenario, you make this a Warp Gate because you're not going to want to just spam units out from this and rally them home. But now it's awkward because you've got to warp in off of here and build units naturally out of here. Maybe he's just going to build the Warp Gates. Okay. Obviously, building units more quickly is good, but you also have to remember that building units more quickly means you have to spend money more quickly as well, and sometimes you just don't have that money, so the build time gained does not always benefit necessarily as much as you might think it's going to. Oh, this was a disaster of a defense. The first Woodermine hitting for 8 probes was already really bad, and then obviously this Woodermine hitting for a Stalker is really, really rough as well. Let's just have the Stalkers and the Zealots just going to hold at the front. The Marines do deny that pylon, so there's -1 gateway available to Christiana at this point also. That blink complaining against him is on its way on the barracks, just having ourselves the bunker about to finish up on the low ground. Medevac's on the top, a few more Stalkers gathering down the bottom. Load a couple of Zealots in to try and lead the charge into the main. Stimback is somewhat vulnerable, but we do have tank coverage on it. Still not going to make the dive just yet. And the 8 probes is such a big hit to your economy, that is really rough. Walk up here. A couple of Zealots going to go down. We blink. It's going to be a 2-shot in the tank. Trying to repair it wasn't quite good enough. Obviously, double bunker will not get broken down, so that at least is a positive as we start to evacuate. Have to blink over to the right side. A couple of these stalkers are super low. Cristiano's just saying GG. He's losing more probes at home to the mine drop reappearing as well, so he just taps out, and Percival will take a game. Cristiano's streak sits at 1, and that will be that. Alright, I think we've got time to do one more game, guys. I think we've got time to do one more map before we swap over to zero space stuff. If they get started soon, that is. We'll see. Boom, bada, boom, boom. Is there any good homepage with SC2 guides? SC2 guides are kind of dead. I think your best SC2 guides are like Lambo has Zerg Academy. I think you're best off finding someone like Lambo or Mana or someone who makes the YouTube videos and just finding their YouTube and going from there. There's not really somewhere that just puts a bunch in together anymore. Yeah, Pig. Yeah, just the usual guys that people suggest. I think it's probably the best place to check. Jumi just came online, so maybe some Jumi Percival action, another PvT before we wrap up on the day for StarCraft. Like I said, we've got zero space in 20 minutes, guys, so we are swapping over to that. That was our priority today. OSC was just an added bonus in terms of content coverage, so just a little bit of a bonus at the end of it all. Like I say, I think it's probably going to be Jumi Percival, but let's wait for the invite so we can know. Fear and Faith going to be the map. Let's hop in. And we'll have Jumi Percival. I wonder if Jumi has something sneaky planned for the 4-player map. Let's get on in there. Let's start it off. The newest king in the top left-hand corner of the map is going to be the Red Terran. He picks the 4-player map, actually, so... There's obviously Jumi sorry, no, what am I on about? No, he vetoes a map, and then Jumi picks the 4-player. Percival in the top left, ignore what I'm saying, I'm just talking nonsense. Jumi with the map pick, like I say, definitely feels like he has a chance to get something going here. Here's the blue Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner. What do we think, guys? I really think Jimmy probably has something sneaky planned, especially just because it is a 4-player map. Definitely has me feeling like that as well, so let's see if it's true or not. Obviously 4-player map, the scouting's a bit more difficult, and you can, especially on this map, you can hide things. You've seen the probe in the corner, pylon over here as well, and the aggression from that. Let's see what, like I say, what Jimmy wants to try and crank out on this. As we have a SCV in a moment or so, about to arrive into the main. Going to scout around to see what else is going to happen. So the SCV scouting about, just going to see the cybercore gateway continue to come through. Probe pulls over to that natural, just going to get the Nexus drop down. With immediate effect, the SCV continues to move into the center for a couple moments and turn back around to see what's going on. So it is just an expand from Jumi. So if it was going to be anything crazy, it ain't coming just now. It's going to be a little bit at least as the probe nibbles at that SCV, get some damage onto it, just going to push it away. The SCV is going to go scarpering over to the left-hand side as well. The work fighting the tubes. Probe nearly gets the SCV as he turns. That's a Marine. Probe gets baited too far in. He's away. Not baited too far in at all. Actually, good denial of the scout, right? Because we didn't reveal the third CC with this yet. So Jimmy actually still is working off of very little info, as we are going to be seeing the Adept making a shade across. Again, that comes up with that third CC coming through. The Adept is going to shade. The SCV going to go back and forth a little. Yep, some work in. This SCV already taking damage is going to go down. So the SCV down is the Adept up into the main base. As we have the Marines chasing after said Adept. Just going to get a little wraparound on that Adept. It is going to fall. That's 2 SCVs going down immediately. And a couple of mules will drop in along with this orbital command on the natural. The third command center coming up in the next few moments as well. Just bring a lot of that up and around. Get a lot of this put into place already as well for the moment. A few Marines gather up as gateway comes across. Around a few moments, probe pulls over to the side, just gonna drop a Twilight Council into the corner. And Jimmy, I mean, obviously Stargate the Forge and then starts to go into the Twilight Council after. It's kind of a fun mix of tech. His tech is about as mixed as the skins on his structures. So there's going to be some Phoenix early, then into the Twilight armor upgrade on the way, so Phoenix Charge, seemingly the plan out of Jumi. I guess that does make the most sense. I mean, if you're going to play Phoenix into Blink doesn't make a lot of sense. It's very difficult to do. As the Adept is going to be here to hit this SCV. Going to drop a factory dampers. Will continue into the buy upgrades. Triple CC of his own. His economy good as Jumi is now working on that third nexus of his own over these next few moments as well. Marines gather up. Again, a few Marines into that bunker. We just gather in here. And a couple more SCVs continue to pop out. Depot coming down. And again, those refineries just coming through already. Stimpack, Combat Shield to +1. We'll continue to build. The factory is about to finish. The refineries are still on the way. A couple of additional SCVs and depots keep producing through, as well as this orbital will float across to the third location in the next few moments. The probes pull back up to the high ground. A couple of Zelds are patrolling at the front door. Yeah, those probes get down to that bottom side. Phoenix are going to move up. It's going to be having the concussive shells, the attack upgrade. Continue to come online. The Phoenix is going to step through here for a few moments. Get back in for a couple more of these SCVs. -3, -4. A couple of Marines are going to stem across for a few moments as well. Just going to continue onto those Phoenix. Just here and now. You get 7 SCVs. It's not a bad start. 10 in total with the Adepts that died. First of all, obviously sees what Jimmy's playing. He's already across the map with these Marines. That's not great. Having 2 of the gates on this low ground is actually pretty brutal for you. And right now, these Zealots are going to look for a fight, right? But this Bioforce, I guess they probably is going to sit behind the gates. He actually kills it off so the space opens up. This is the issue for the Bioforce, is that the Phoenix can lift up a bunch of the units. They still have some lifts available, and as such, the lifts being available means that these Zealots do just completely overwhelm. So first of all, actually loses out in a big way. Jimmy builds the pylon in front of the third base over here. That might be a little bit too aggressive, and he realizes it as well. As now he sees that his opponent's taking the third, though, that is a dream scenario, because realistically, how do you defend this third base? The Phoenix still have energy to lift. You're going to see the Zealots coming across the map once again, coming straight over for the moment. Phoenix, Zealots, and company coming up. Bio Army is going to stim. Drop that straight down. Well, Zealots on the way out. Again, Phoenix, +2 armor, all building up. Just going to see the rest of this army coming through as well. Push up to the top with these Phoenix and Zealots. Like I said, I feel like this is a position you want. At the very least, yeah, okay, we have a pylon to the right, so we can maybe at least get a couple Zealots in the mineral line while we try and jump over here. Jumps in the first Widow Mine before it gets burrowed. That is huge. Can we deal with the second Widow Mine without too much splash? A lot of these Zealots get held up on the low ground, but like, say we get a couple in the mineral line with the extra SCVs pulling in, the Bio coming through. I don't think we're going to have enough firepower here. Unfortunately, this army gets turned away. The Zealots are still after the SCVs, though. These Zealots have been the big winners of this fight, because without those, this just wasn't good enough. Again, a lot of the Zealots got caught up down here instead of continuing to chase into the natural. It would have been a lot better if we were able to kind of chase up in there. As Phoenix joined up, a couple of Zealots are still just nearby. Phoenix still gathering. We do have a couple of goats going through the medevac as well. A couple of Widow Mines coming out. This Bioforce just going to set out the front. A bunch of Zealots to the right side, a few Zealots in the center. Jimmy is pretty much committed to going for more of this, it seems. Like, he's still building Phoenix. Hasn't really got much tech behind it. He does have the +2 armor at least, so the Zealots are going to be tanky still. Phoenix, they can go after SCVs, but if you go after SCVs, you've got to know what you want to, how many lifts you want to use and how many you want to save to help you play defense in case this army comes swinging across the map toward you as well. So you got to make your choices there very cautiously also. As the Phoenix come around, the Bio is going to hold out. A couple of these Zealots get pushed away. Zealots still chasing. This Ghost is going to just about live. Gets out of there for the moment. +1 armor, +3 armor. Sorry, +1 attack, +3 armor. Good upgrade still for Jimmy. And again, a couple extra Widow Mines, the medevac, and the rest coming up. The Zealots get down to the bottom. It's an EMP onto. The Zealots are trying to run in. I like where we're at in terms of army comp for Percival. He's looking for a fight across the... I don't hate it with Ghosts, honestly. Especially if he EMPs the Phoenix and they become... And they're not dead weight because they can obviously hunt down the medevacs, right? Removing the healing and the evacuation process of the Terran can, still be very viable, but the longer this goes, the less I believe in this comp that Jumi is playing, because I do think the answers are coming on board, and I do think that's going to be a pretty big factor overall as well. Phoenix step back down to the bottom. A couple of pylons will settle. The robo facility continues to build up. +1 attack, +3 armor upgrade. Continuing through, the few Marines to unload and the probes pull away already. The Phoenix step over the Zealots. Going to run down into this bottom corner. Just going to get a grab on a bunch of those Marines. The Phoenix will get there. Marines and the medevac going down. Over on the far left-hand side. Of this Bio Army looking to shove. Gonna start charging through. EMP's already on the Phoenix. There's a lot of Zealots. I don't love that we don't have EMPs on all of the Zealots. There's a lot of very healthy Zealots here. The Phoenix that are left with some energy do some lifting. Not too many Phoenix left here overall, but the Zealot Swarm feels like a lot right now. Do you have the Zealots eventually going to go down, though, and that's just going to be the end of it. And we gave up all the Phoenix in this process as well, and you can see the supply just not there for Jumi. For a moment I believed, I almost thought he had enough, but just the supply is just too good. It was just too far gone already. Bio coming back along, T2 upgrades still coming up as well for the moment. And a bit more bio coming in. The bio will get a pylon at the front as well. Work on that immediately. As 3 attack will start. The Marines and the Medevac's coming up. Commandant is on the way through. Just gonna have the few Phoenix gonna make their way up around the top side as well. It's just gonna go straight over there with that. And get blown up by some water mines. Well, that feels like it should be the end of the Phoenix full stop. Maybe it will be. Percival's upgrade still good. 2-2 to the 1-3. It's good enough for him to keep the fights going in his favor as necessary. Oh, he has some bio on the bottom left. I mean, what does Jumi have? It's Zealots, and they don't even have like the Phoenix support this time. So this big attack looking good. The only scary thing is going to be the counterattack of Zealots. That can still absolutely find value. And split away. -2 Zealots initially. Hey, Percival. He'd be silly to pull back because he's so far across the map. Doesn't necessarily need to fight. These Zealots are doing work. EMPs came down. There's a lot of ghosts, a lot of EMPs available. But Mine's just doing that job nicely. Softening up the Zealots so everything else is easily killed. Another 9 Zealots pop in, but we still have a ton of ghost energy, so they're going to be instantly EMP'd. No shields on them. They're just not going to be as tanky as they need to be across the map. We're still losing some SCVs, but it's just not enough. Percival will take a second in a row, taking down Jumi. GG's. Alright, guys, that is going to be it for me for StarCraft 2 today. Yes, if you want to continue watching the OSC King of the Hill, you can do so on Empress Lily's stream. I will drop the link for that in the Twitch chat if you would like to go and check out more games from the King of the Hill. Go say hi. Like I say, we are going to be live with the Zero Space Invitational in just a little bit. So, it starts up in like 5 minutes. So I'm going to take a few moments to step away and just take a few moments and so on and so forth. So we're going to do that and then come back and, yeah, go from there. I'm just going to save this image from here. That'll do. And yeah, if you're on YouTube, you're going to get pushed over to a new stream for the Zero Space. It's still my channel, it's just a new space, so like people can watch the VODs more easily and stuff. So, like I say, I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. We'll go into some Zero Space. Up next, it's the $13,000 Invitational. We'll be right back.